Hello and welcome to the SilverFox Hustle Podcast. This is episode number 35. And if you're listening in, please share this with your family and friends and don't forget to click on the follow or subscribe button. And this podcast is all about my guest. It's all about the hustle, about them sharing inspiring stories about their hustle and how they got there. And today it's a big one, let me tell you, because last week we had 40 gold medalist in the SEA Games, Jocelyn Yeo, and this week we have someone who won medals as well in a different field. And I want to make this introduction short and sharp because I think my guest wants it or likes it like that, right? I because I've seen some of his interviews, and I would be doing an injustice if I made it very short, but I'll try my best. Now, he started off as a photographer and had a stint with the Straits Times way back in 1983 when I was in primary one. He quit to form his own studio in 1990, and it was in 1997 or thereabouts that things really took off. It was the inception of Makansutra. It started off as an Asian food guide. The first book was launched in 1998, and the brand Makansutra has gone on to reach many more milestones. Now, Makansutra also operates the Gluttons Bay food court at the Esplanade. Now, above all, I think my guest has been on a crusade of sorts, trying to keep hawker fare alive. Now, he was also accorded and recognized as Singapore's food ambassador by a former president, the late Mr. S. R. Nathan. Welcome to the SilverFox Hustle Podcast, the food guide Maven and guru of Grub, Mr. K.F. Seetoh.
Yeah, that was a short intro. Hey, you got a sports commentator's voice.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, you got the, it's exciting. When you were describing me, I can feel the ball centering. When somebody's jump down, you get a
So
hit.
that cross was for you to hit. Thanks, Mr. Seetoh, for coming down. Now, before we start, right, I've got two questions for you. Right, just two questions right off the bat. What do you want, or what do you want to be known as? Because, like, for me, if you ask me, I'm a teacher or a lecturer or an educator, right? How about Mr. Seetoh?
I've also asked myself this question: what on earth am I doing now? It took me many years to realize, that I'm not just out to tell you good food and all that. Sure, I've met the likes of Anthony Bourdain and all these celebrities who come because we have knowledge about food and all that. But there are layers and layers beyond that I didn't realize that I was stepping onto. It's like this gold mine of opportunity. So what am I doing? I'm an advocate for the extraordinary cultures that the ordinary people gave. I'm sure we're a city, a nation of shiny things like AI and all those stuff, importing the best things. But I feel and I know we have all it takes to export the best of who we are. So extraordinary things from ordinary people, or kind of things we overlook. So hawker culture was something for, by, and of the people, and I've always been advocating the potentials in a plate of char kway teow. And today, after needling, we have a UNESCO award.
Lovely. That, by the way, was a great start. We talk about quotes. That was brilliant. And that was something that you would expect from Mr. Seetoh, but again, brilliant. The next question, right off the bat again, do you ever go to fast food restaurants?
Yeah, I do.
You do?
Fast food restaurants are not as fast as hawkers, Hawkers are very fast. As a fast food restaurant, you are slower than hawkers. Hawkers in their 2.5 hours over lunch. They got to do that how many 100 portions, otherwise they die because rents are ridiculous, manpower is ridiculous. If you can get them at all, food costs is going up. So the guy has to dish out maybe like 200 portions. Hello, I go to fast food because sometimes I want to try what a lousy burger looks like, or tastes like. So it reminds me about the artisanal hawkers that our guys are doing in our hawker centers.
Nice. Now, Seetoh, we talk about Makansutra and all later on. We talk about how was your growing up days. How were you like growing up? Were you always? I know, I read from somewhere that you introverted. Is that right?
Introvert. I have always defied norms lah,
Okay.
and you tell me go left, I'll go right lah. Always take um, the fork on the road.
Yeah. Yeah.
People go here, go there, because then you'll be able to discover. I guess I'm a discoverer.
Right.
I'm a I travel life. I find out, and I'll try never to arrive.
Nice.
Never go and set a
The destination.
destination or a goal, because your goals will always evolve when you have latched onto something your whole mind, body, and soul agrees on. It's moving. When I started Makansutra, it's like, so what am I gonna do now? We got a food guide, we got a show, we got this and that. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do with this?
Yeah.
Then later, years later, after doing all that, I called my friend Anthony Bourdain. I'll speak a lot about him because
Right.
we all same spirit, like kindred. I told him, hey, you owe me a favor. You gotta come down to my World Street Food Congress, and I need you to be an advocate. I need to support the potentials of heritage street food culture around the world.
Nice.
It came in a heartbeat.
Beautiful. You went to good schools, right? St. Michael's, St. Joseph's Institution. How were you as a student, Seetoh?
As a student growing up in St. Michael's and St. Joseph's, I always thought Singapore a lot of Eurasians. I thought Chinese were minority. If I learned a lot, that school is about knowledge. It's not about teaching.
Really?
They let you learn, and this story has been quoted in a book. When I wanted to fight, kids love to fight. Okay, a classmate challenged me to a fight over some stupid thing, and then Brother Godfrey heard about it. Oh, you want to fight? He said, come to my office. Okay, you go there at 6:30. I will be the referee. No weapons, no nothing, just punch and kicks. Okay.
Yeah.
Boom, after he said, okay, you guys done? So what have you solved? Nothing. So, okay, can you all shake hands and go back and have your coffee and dinner? And tomorrow we're still friends.
Brilliant. That's life lessons, isn't it?
Of course.
That's life lessons. But do you think that can happen now?
Here today they'll arrest you.
Who?
The
The
put you
principal
on
or
stay
the...
home notice, tie you up, put you and all. They won't let you learn that lesson.
Right.
Yeah.
But academically, how were you?
Average lah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I've always no. I studied after O levels. I was invited to go to some college or PU and all that to play football. Hey, football, would you come? You play for my team. I said, the one. I took my results. I went to Baharuddin Vocational Institute, the only institute then. These are all pre-ITE, pre-Temasek and all that. The only school that offered advertising art, such a big word. I went there, the guy said I was overqualified. I said, you cannot lah, you're not stupid enough. You can't come here, your grades you got to have lower grades, then you come. So I said, no. So I went back, no, don't look at my grades. I showed him my portfolio, some pictures that I shot when I was a kid learning photography from my neighbor who was my sifu. Show him photos, show him some design, some posters that I did in art class and all that. And the guy holding his pipe, okay, bro, maybe can make it.
So that was a kind of an audition. Him looking at your work.
I said, don't look at my my results.
It's very interesting because I wanted to ask you the next one, right? Baharuddin Vocational Institute. Seriously, right? I didn't know this place existed until I researched on it and when I wanted to talk to you and say, where is this place? Like what is this place, right? So is this the equivalent of an IT right now?
The precursor of IT.
Right.
And there were tailoring classes and institutes. They were advertising art. They taught you art, photography. They teach you how to process. But frankly, I didn't learn from that school because I already learned so much from my seafood. We were already out there, trying to hustle money as a photographer, and he is teaching me f-stop and all that. I could you a very funny incident.
Okay, good.
This teacher is very stern old man. He taught photography. So as usual in class, we were just ogling at girls,
Yeah.
And then I was talking during his lesson,
Yeah.
and he was talking about tomorrow we are going to the technical, into the workshop down there for a class photo assignment down there. Oh, you all must do it, blah, 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 blah. Then I was yakking away with this girl I was onto, then he, yo, stand up. Then I was like, oh shit. I stood up and he says, you very clever, right? Don't answer this kind of trick question. Never ever answer this kind of trick question. And I said, keep quiet. And he says, very clever, right? So tomorrow we are going to the technical workshop down there. What is the first thing you must do? Then I already knew my answer. Then I waited. Arrogant, cocky little kid. I said, you must know what you want. The fellow taken back. He fell off his chair. Then he sit down. Yes, you all must know what you want before you bring your lenses and your flash. So it was fun. Then I came out. Photography was my calling for many years, and I made a lot of money doing photography. But the calling was to tell stories.
Right. It's nice. I like that, telling stories. And I wanted to ask you as well about why did you go to Bourdain? Was it the results? So obviously it wasn't, because you were more than qualified, right? Like you said, and you could even do some teaching job there even then, right? In terms of the photography.
I don't know what I'll be if I had gone the academic route, go and find a job, attempt to be a scholar, and then
Did your parents have any objections?
My father died when I was 12 years old. Mother's a housewife, just making sure we come back every day to eat her food, and I was pretty much left on my own until my neighbor took care of me. Come, you. The uncle, Mr. Pua, is always taking care of us. So he took me in, he taught me, and I said, "What is this? This feels right."
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So sometimes, often, always in life, you got to find that heartbeat of yours, because if you wind up doing something you like, you will never have to work a day in your life.
Yeah.
You just you wake up every day, your fingers and your toes tingle. You say, "What I'm gonna find out today? What I'm gonna eat? What stories I'm gonna tell? What ideas, what business, what opportunities can I come up with this thing that I love doing so much?"
Nice. Now, photography. How did the love for photography start? Like at what age, and how did you learn? The trade, because it's not easy, right?
Back in the day, you learn on your own. Not much. I mean, you go to these classes in vocational institutes, so you learn as a rookie. They call them interns today. You go and wash the fella's car. You go and buy him cigarettes and coffee. Carry the camera bag, and those are today. No, they can know that you can't do that to them today. That impedes on my freedom. Just pay me and let me do what I want. No, anyway, I'm kidding. So you learn everything. It's got to be a 360 learning. I like to hold that camera and see something, because I feel there's a story to tell.
Okay.
The picture, of course, if you haven't shot a few 100,000 pictures in your life, you won't understand the phrase, a picture tells 1,000 words.
Yeah, you're very right indeed. Any particular kind of photography that you love? Like any particular ones?
Photojournalism, real life. When I went to Straits Times, they always tell you, go out there, when you get this picture, you don't come back if you don't get it. So you got to think on your feet. How am I going to get this shot? Plan, you wait, you coerce people and all that. So it was very good. You tell it as it is. You go there, you pick up your camera, you analyze, you shoot, you came back. I captured the whole event.
Right.
A few frames.
Right.
When you see the picture, yes. So the art of telling stories with a picture was what I took out of Straits Times and into my commercial photography, KFC photography. Right. So even when I tackled corporate photography, I always had a photojournalism angle to it. Pictures must entertain, illustrate, and inform.
Beautiful. And I feel and I think that not anybody can do that.
No.
Yeah, not anybody can do it. You got to have a feel of
I mean, I look at all this, some photographers I gave up after some idiot invented digital photography. Bloody idiot, no. I mean, you go there and then you Photoshop your way into, and then today they are accepting photo pictures for photo competition. That's not a photo competition. Back in my day, that's called a dark room competition. You burn and dodge your way through. Um, so many incidences. Simple phrase is how to get a nice picture.
Yeah.
Just got to be there in F8. If you're not there, what for? If your picture is blur, what for? You just got to plan so well. In those days, you shot with film. Miss means miss. You kena means you kena. I remember I was asked to shoot this kid. He lived in a kampong.
Okay.
In 6th Avenue. It was still a kampong back in the day. So went there, then he had A's all the way. And then he was on some bursary, and then so the editor, hey, go and get a nice picture here. It would look very boring. So I went there, nanti went there, I took down his books, I created like a mountain, and then shot him through, opened a book, it looks like an A stand or a V stand, right?
Yeah.
Shot him through that. I said, wow, very nice. I made him pose for like 30 minutes. I said, you want to pose, make sure you do it properly. When I went back, on the way back, the boss said, hey, Seetoh, don't come back to the office. I will redivert you to another assignment. Can you give the film to the reporter who will bring the film back and process and all that? Yeah, sure. So I took my camera, opened up, and I tried to wind the film back.
Yeah.
I realized there was no film inside.
My God.
So what the hell do you do?
Yeah.
You made the guy pose half an hour and you knew you had front page stuff, this film. I said, this one sure cocky little Seetoh. That one sure front page one. After no film, what the hell do you do? And the reporter, hey, brother, I got to go away and write a story. You take care. And that was how it is. I did.
So what did you do?
Went back there
and reshot.
Think on your feet, and you tell the guy, hey, on the way back, my editor called me. Just now I shoot black and white. He said, no, this one front page got to be in color. They just realized got to be in color. Hey, sorry, I got to make you do again. Maaf. All over, he did all the headstand for me again, and then it made it to the front page in color anyway.
Lovely.
So sometimes you got to think on your feet.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a perfect example of thinking on your feet
Thinking
after a cock-up.
Thinking on your toenails, I tell you.
Straits Times, that was for Straits Times, wasn't it?
That was Straits Times. Brita Harian.
Yeah. How was your experience there overall?
I learned a lot about life.
Right.
Photography, I mean, you as a skill, you don't learn much, but you learn about life. You see people. One day you are trying to photograph a murderer in the court in the morning, charged for court. Afternoon, they ask you to send to Istana to photograph LKY meeting a dignitary, and then you got to look and smell. At night so you see life, and then your storytelling abilities heighten if you have that finesse. And you see real people, you see, and then so how did the food come up to me? It was also on Straits Times. I was reading this book. I was always photographing for all these doyens of food, Margaret Chan, Violet Woon, my colleagues back in the day. And Margaret Chan, you are cool, man, I tell you. She will go to Singapore's first Michelin star. I remember Roland Mazier. He had one kacang putih Michelin star restaurant in that was a then Dynasty Hotel. And then she went there, she ate the thing, and then she told the guy, your food feels like it needs ketchup.
She said that?
Right, to the effect. Wow, then I tell you, it was so cool. And then I went there, listening to the PR there, talk about it, and then how do we mediate this? Of course, I went back for a second time, eat the food again, and then I met somewhere in the middle. But those were the fun days. They say that, and then later Margaret went to print a book called First Stops. And I was reading Ujaga's shish kebab, sikh kebab. these people, I said, wow, these lovely little stories about these people. Where do they come from? It really awoke me. It woke me even further because I was riding my scooter for my assignment, the same scooter you saw on my old show, my old TV show, for my assignments. And then always, the photographers that rode bikes always kena bully by the senior photographer. Where are you? And I said, oh yeah, I just finished the thing. I gave the film to a reporter, it's on the way, but anything for me now. Where are you? Clementi. Clementi, yeah, I got something for you. Yeah, what is it? Ready to go for another job. Oh, you go to the hawker center, you can buy the rojak from the guy. who want rojak? Who want rojak?
It was like running errands.
Errands. Then, but I learned, wow, why they're so precise. Go here, eat the man or the woman frying. The man fry, the woman fry, don't cook.
Okay.
And then all these piqued my interest. So later on, I realized, hey, it's a lot. So I had this handbook. I took out this handbook. Every day I had the A to Z. Ang ku kueh. You know, bak chor mee, chicken rice, duck rice, and all the way until Z. You know, where, who, what, where. I went back, began to take photographs, tell stories, and after I was a few years after I went, I left the Straits Times. I thought, I've always wanted to do something, a food guide. Back in the day, nobody did this. Everybody thought food, street food is seen with disdain. It's like my ex-cons. Trying to hustle you for a $3 bowl of noodles.
Interesting, and it's like you learned it through the hard school, right? The hard school of knocks or whatever you want to call it. It was
let
brilliant.
life teach you. Let life teach you. Where you go where the wind will blow you. You will always find something. Never let your knowledge be engineered.
Nice. Let's talk about Makansutra, right? Then your love for food and telling stories through the food guide and stuff like that. How did that come about, first of all?
Like I said, a seed was planted already after I left Straits Times, and throughout my 10-over-year career as a commercial photographer, I mean, we were doing big time work. I shoot for all the big airlines, did their campaigns, and I was already beginning to specialize in food. Because I had this thing for it, because and then you work with all kinds of chefs and you learn all kinds of tricks in photography and all that. So much later, then I realized, hey, there's a lot to our food culture, and I realized, how come the Thais are so popular with their food, the Japanese are so popular with our food, then our food, what's our food, the time nobody really put a finger down and analyze who we are, what we eat, So then I realized, of course, we have our migrant food, and then the migrant came together in a meld, and then they have stuff that are truly Singapore, not Chinese, Malay, Indian, Eurasian, or others. It's just us. So then through that, I found out even more about who we are.
Nice. When it first came about, Makansutra, did you ever thought that, since 1998 till now, right, that it would be so big, Makansutra?
No,
No?
We're not big now. We do big things. We're a very small company. Even if I
You're being humble.
No, I know I've had many offers to buy this company. I even had offers to set up a TV station back in the day, way before this Asian, this food television stations came about. I planned it. I sat down. I knew who I wanted in the industry. Yeah, you can do a show. You can do a show. You can do a show. And I drew up the entire business model, how to do this. We had all this. Of course, today it may be talked about, but then back in the day, slightly ahead of our time. Today with digital, it's so easy, social media, streaming and all that. I'm ahead of my time. I think, when I started design, we were drawing lines with techno pen. Remember that word? Techno pen. And then we're using brush to paint. And then some idiot came up with Illustrator and Photoshop. And we were inking books and selling books, doing all that. And some idiot came out with social media. So you got to reinvent everything. So as we grew along, we recently launched our ebook Makansutra, which is out free because No lah, nobody makes money from doing food guides.
Yeah.
Nobody makes money. We put it out free because we still want to keep the engine of telling stories running.
Mm.
And if you look in the book, it's you only see a bank down there telling you to pay lah. But I have to maintain at least 4 people to upgrade to keep
Okay.
updating every 2 weeks. Kick people out, when they lose their mojo,
Ah.
bring new ones in. So it's a living
Right.
e-book,
Right.
free with photos and videos and all
Okay.
that. Doesn't matter. But we found better new ways every time we come across something. I'll tell you, I found this out about this guy, this person, this dish, this ingredient.
Right.
It just heightens your appreciation
Right.
for food culture, and that's what we do. We don't just tell you ho jia, ho jia.
Yeah.
That everybody's a food critic today.
Correct.
You know,
You're
but
right.
learning more about the culture, the people, the food, the taste, the place,
Yeah.
will really make you really proud of this UNESCO award. There's a lot out there.
It's you want people to be educated, right, about the hawker fan, and not only
Proud. You
they're
gotta be proud.
Yeah, exactly. And your first edition in 1998, right? It cost about 40K.
Yeah.
40K, and 25,000 copies sold per edition on an average.
On the first edition, we printed 10,000. We sold about 9,000 books. And I was going,
Whoa.
what the hell, man? Clinton sold 1 million books, and here I am, 9,000 kacang putih, And then I realized later,
Yeah.
in Singapore, because of our size, they give you a platinum award for selling 5,000 copies. Oh, really? Not bad, ah. But it was the second, third, and fourth edition that went through the roof.
Yeah.
By the time we hit the second or third edition, we had bookshops like Borders. Remember Borders?
Yes,
They
yes,
sold
yes,
a lot.
yes.
We bought a lot. They were asking for 5. My supplier my distributor was giving them 500 books a week. 500 weeks is a lot, 500 books,
Yeah, a week.
They call me up. They didn't call the distributor. They call me up and says, "Hey, Mr. Seetoh, can you give us more books?"
Wow.
Because people are asking left, right, center. I said,
Yeah.
yeah. How many giving you 500? So asking you double? No. We want you to give us 4,000 books a week.
A week.
A week. That was, I said, hey, I don't even print that much.
Yeah.
And there are all these other bookshops,
Yeah.
And then if I reprint again, I need to update. And I said, I must wait for the next edition. So that was the appeal of it. And then after it went down because online.
Yeah. Took over.
Everybody became a food critic recommending their mother and father's store.
Right.
So
How many editions to date?
this is our 11th. This free ebook is our 11th edition.
Yeah.
Makansutra.com/ebook. Go in there every week. My duty, I still love it. Now I bought a bicycle. I hate driving. I get into the MRT, I cycle around there, checking out all these things my little birdies whisper to me. Take pictures, take videos, write the review on the spot, load it up.
Wow, so you do this almost like every day?
Yeah, I love
Nice.
that. But not every day, maybe 2-3
Yeah.
times a week, Yeah, so I still love it. Just
Great,
go there,
great.
walk up and, ask a couple of questions. You'll be surprised when it comes to food, everybody will tell you so many things.
Good, great. That's nice. The ratings, right? Die must try. Where did that come from? So that's that's 3 out of 3.
3 pairs.
Yeah.
Or 6 chopsticks.
Yeah.
It's like to die for.
Yeah.
There's also a Cantonese phrase called "say that you sick." Die also must eat. So die must try. You know what I mean? So that's on your deathbed you must eat this.
Right.
Yeah.
So are there a lot?
I have to say it's getting less.
Getting less.
Hard to find. You find a lot of average or above average, but the ones that will squeeze your nuts, make you fall off your chair, getting harder to find. Because not so artisanal anymore.
Okay.
You can buy paste. If you notice out there, a lot of laksa tastes the same.
Okay.
Same supplier.
Okay.
Then fish ball. They make. Not everybody who make their own fish ball on the spot are good. some suppliers make better.
Okay.
So and then the art. You study the art of the Chinese kitchen or the art of the Malay Padang craft. Yeah, a lot of them are being lost already.
Why do you think that that is so?
People no longer pound, no longer do it
Do it
over
on their own.
fire. Wood fire is frowned upon by the environment people. Oh, no wood fire, very smoky. Ironic, right? I always say the environment people who go and jaga, oh, very dirty, very clean, all that. They look after the hawker centers and all that, your hygiene and food handling issues and all that. Suddenly are the arbiters of food, They want to tell you, oh, we want to precisely environment. People sekali become experts on char kway teow. Where I must have woke up from some slumber, sleeping ugly.
I remember the television show, the season of Makansutra, right? And you on your Vespa. Was it a Vespa? Is it a Vespa?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was launched in 2001, right? What was that experience like? How many seasons, right, did it go for? Like
four seasons here until they decided to merge the stations. A dumb thing to do.
Right.
And then there was I did a couple of seasons in Malaysia. Malaysia loved that show.
Okay.
They haven't seen anything like that. So that started the flight of show. After my first show that was in Malaysia, I was there for months on ends. People started recognizing. So I smile a bit more. Don't be so rude. And then we did about 2 or 3 seasons on Discovery. So after about 7, 8.
What was the experience like? Good.
Yeah. It's because of my style. I do not like things engineered.
Okay.
So the show that did very well was this one called Food Surprise.
Okay.
Where we went out, we don't plan. We just carry 2 cameras. In the van, we discuss who the hell we're gonna ask around, snoop around, and we will send a little spy in to check. Okay, we can film this like that. We go inside with one story, with some cock and bull story, and we'll throw the people out and see how people react to extraordinary, fantastical situations and questions or requests, and it was very watched. I was told by the broadcaster that show was very highly rated.
Was this your idea about the surprise thing? Nice.
Never been done. Because I guess because I had enough knowledge. I go in there, I know what you're cooking, I know my story, I know what I want to ask. I won't be there, oh, very nice, how you cook, wow, 2 hours, no, I go there, very nice, you did very well in life, oh my God, help me, and all that. Okay, can you give me 200 portions for a charity event I'm doing tonight? No.
That's a surprise.
Yes, the more kinds. Once we went to a halal restaurant in Malaysia. I said, can you close the whole restaurant? This actress went there and asked him, we are getting married, and my husband's from Texas. He's flying in 300 of his best friends. Can your restaurant take 300 people now? Then the fellow, I have a low budget. And then we let go 300 US a person. Wow. It's like $1,000. Smart. Huh? But, yeah, I think can for 300 I will. Since it's a private, can you do roast pork? Because my friends from Texas, they love pulled pork and barbecue. It's private, but no, it's not public. Whatever. Devil on one side, God on the other ear, and all that. Later, I have to appear. When he must say hello, we're fooling, and the guy was so mad.
Oh, that's nice, man. That's nice. I can imagine the look on his face. I can imagine. Now, let's talk about Gluttons Bay as well. A food court at the Esplanade Mall, wasn't it? How is that?
So the Esplanade boss Benson Pua came to an event that we did in 2004.
Okay.
We converted the car park. It was then a car park opposite Center Point. Now it's Orchard Central.
Yeah.
It was was this a car park?
Yeah.
That was also the original location of the old Orchard Road car park hawkers.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, why don't we do an event now? So I dug in, can dig out all these old hawkers. Some of them still alive, who used to hawk in that car
Okay.
park.
Okay.
They were all the old pushcart hawkers.
Right.
So they came back. Some of them had second generation. So it was a story to tell. Because I told the people behind the event, I said Orchard Road is so state. Like close your eyes, cover you. You can't. Or rather, if I airdrop you down onto Orchard, you can't tell what country you're in. Until you hear people speaking, Alama, wallah, what expensive,
Right.
then you hear the Singlish, you're Singapore. There's nothing there that says Singapore,
Right.
except food. But food is lost. Everything is a food court. Everybody's trying to sell sushi, Korean stuff, and all that. And then they said, okay, they did that, and that was the runaway success. In a little food court with 12 stalls, we saw 10,000 people a night. The hawkers were like,
Wow.
They could not handle. One of the hawkers, he could not. I mean, the walk doesn't stop from 6 all the way until 2 a.m. You just go on and on and on and on. So he found ingenious ways of stopping the fried omelette, the oyster omelette guy. The guy was frying halfway, and then he was already hunched over his back, and then he looked up to, hey, sorry, no more oyster. I go behind there, the freezer on there take. So he said his freezer is parked in the other car park behind. Actually, he went to the back one day, he took a break, he took a smoke,
Right.
wash his hands,
Right.
came back with coffee, then he pretended to carry one back. Okay. So there was a 15-minute break for him. Brilliant.
Now, ironically, right, I just wanted to ask you about this as well. It's hard work. It's hard work, right? You wake up so early in the morning and you do all that, and your work almost doesn't stop. And that's basically what's stopping our
Okay, it's I mean, hello, every work is hard lah. But I tell you why it's easy at the hawker. It is repetitive. If you
in that sense, yes.
Yeah, it's the same thing day in, day out. If you get it right and you improve it, the lines will go longer and longer
Yeah.
and longer. And sure, you gotta wake up. After a while, it's routine. You enjoy going there, prepping. You know people are gonna come by 10 a.m. or 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. and just do it. And here's the beautiful thing: at the end of the day, after washing up, you switch off the light, they lock up the store. They got no emails to clear. No bills.
You're
to
not
check.
wrong there. You're
And
not
they
wrong.
check, hey, did the fella revert to me? Alamak, nothing. All
Revert.
they do, will I circle back to you on that? No, the one, I'm still waiting for the answer. Nothing. They just go back. Off means off. So and then I read another joker put some viral post or some hero. How dare you ask the people to be hawkers? My mother was a hawker. She only made 1,500. You're telling people to study all their life, go graduate, go poly IT, and become a hawker and earn. My mother earned 1,500. I was roll until I could see the back of my eye roll until I could see the back of my head. So let me share with you. If you're a average, average or slightly above average chicken rice seller,
Okay.
in a fairly, all our hawker centers look like there's no COVID, right? If you hang around, there's no COVID.
Exactly.
You know, right? Yeah, just people pretend, just hang their mask below their chin and they whack and line up, and I show a picture to my friend in America. Are you kidding me? And okay, if you are selling a chicken rice on this crowded heartland, everybody's working at home. You're selling, say, 20 chickens a day, which is not a lot.
Okay.
The above average ones do about 30 to 40. Say you're 20,
Right.
which is average.
Yeah.
One chicken yields you 12 portions.
Okay.
350 a portion,
Right.
normal, right? You do 20 chickens a day times 26 days, 4 days off a month. You're gonna get almost $22,000. Okay, minus $6,000 for food cost, rice and chicken, and then some chili and all that, right? $6,000 for food cost, 2,500 for an assistant, which is a lot. Poly grads also don't get so much. Assistant,
How much again? Sorry.
hawker assistants are offered. If you have a just basic chicken, kitchen knowledge,
Yeah.
2,500 they will offer you. Poly graduates, IT grads, also
You're
don't
right.
get there.
You're right.
No takers, don't worry. There are no takers for $2,000, $2,500 hawker assistant jobs. I know more than a few who are offering 3,000. Still,
No takers.
no takers. And this is quoted to me. Pang from Hakka Pang
Okay.
at Sintekka. He used to be a French chef running Antoinette, running his Hakka Yong Tau Fu stall. I gave it all up, go back to his basics. Offered 3,005. No takers. So wait, hang on. So I was there.
I want to know why.
22,000.
Okay.
22,000. You take $6,000 off for food costs.
Yeah.
Very handsome.
Yeah.
2,005 and for thing and then for your stuff. Another 2,005
Okay.
for your rental,
Yeah.
and $1,000 for your utilities. All that,
Okay.
which is a lot.
Yeah.
You wind up with close to $10,000 in your pocket.
Yeah.
In your pocket.
Yeah.
That's it per month.
Yeah.
So that guy's mother sold for 1,005. She's not even lousy, Lousy ones also make 5,000. I say, hello. What did she do with the money? Did she live near MBS or what?
My next question was to that point you made, right? 3,005 no takers. Why?
Disdain.
It's the what do you call it? The
Mindset.
mindset to
Yeah.
the job, the profession.
Yep.
The title.
So while they are trying to not introduce this to a poly and all that course, they call it flag. Last time, don't study, become hawker. Now study, then you become hawker. And then at the same time, we're trying to get all the master retiring hawkers to hand their recipe, their brand, their reputation over to strangers that the government will arrange to be an intern, and then if none of their family wants to take over, right? And they said for a stipend. And I wrote a little post.
I read that.
A stipend. I mean, you're pulling my leg, right?
Yeah, you hold that. We'll talk about that later, right? Now, the milestones. Now, these are milestones that I picked up. There are many, right? There's just a few, okay, of yourself and Makansutra and what have you. 2008 Special Recognition Award at the Singapore Tourism Awards. 2009 guest starred in Martha Stewart's show, demonstrating how to make laksa. 2010 you guest starred in the US reality TV show Top Chef. You were the host, guide, and judge of the finalists for season 7. 2013 you organized the World Street Food Conference. 2018 you were the committee co-chair at the World's Fair in New York. Those are great stuff that you did. And obviously the S.R. Nathan award, the late Mr. S.R. Nathan. How was working with Martha Stewart?
Martha Stewart, I appeared in so many here and there. I lost count. Yeah, Martha Stewart was nice.
Right.
She's got her all these fans at her show, live audience really love her, and then that was a very nice audience. They're very reactive,
right?
Singapore full. You sure not? They lap up everything you say. So before I went on the show, there was this stand-in Martha Stewart. I've been working with Miss Stewart for 16 years now. I know her very well, and I know the first question she'll ask you, what is laksa? You've only got 8 minutes for this gig, and so keep it short and sharp and entertaining, like you always do, Mr. Seetoh. And
Wow.
I said, yeah, sure. What is laksa? I thought about it. And Martha Stewart came. The first question she asked was, what does KF stand for? I said, fun, let's have some fun. I said, didn't they tell you? It stands for King of Food. I tell you, the whole studio erupted.
Nice,
and the whole thing went uphill from there. It was so fun,
Really.
In the end, I think the tourism board or the IE Singapore folks, they were handing out laksa packets to everybody. It was so fun.
I'm sure you already have that in you. Like from way back, like people ask you, what does KF stand for, right? I'm sure you'd say that.
Yeah, King of Food.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know what KF stands for, go and look it up, because I know, right? So go and look it up. How about being on the reality TV show Top Chef? You were the judge as well, right? How was that?
Yeah, it's fun. It was so nice to sit beside Padma. Ooh, wow.
Padma Lakshmi.
Oh, she was delicious, man. and they were very professional, and I had up front and center look at how these shows are done. You know,
Yeah.
they have 8 cameras now.
Yeah.
One camera each on 4 of the, because we was the semi-finals that we hosted, and the finals we were also there. So each camera was on one contestant, each camera on each judge.
Yeah.
You know?
I would like to ask this, right? It's a reality TV show. Were shots planned?
Some they leave this much is because there's a format,
Right,
so
right,
they
right,
do
right.
preempt certain things, but they leave space for surprises.
Okay.
Very well done, very well done. For example, this guy, don't know what he cooked, you know, I was eating it,
Yeah.
and they could see me, the guy in his truck with all the 10 screens
Yeah.
on him. We had a earbud
Okay.
receiver,
Right.
invisible.
Yeah.
The guy must have seen my face when I ate it. Right? Still be kind with your words. Be kind. He's an American audience. It was so funny.
So it must be that bad.
So they were, this is very interesting.
That,
But I fell over when a guy dipped his goreng pisang into sambal. Oh, the one I said, hey, open shop lah. What are you talking about? Open shop lah. Yeah, when you gonna open shop?
Nice. What was it like working with Anthony Bourdain?
Yeah, no, I mean, we're friends lah. I mean, he tells me things I've never heard him tell any media before. We were close. I think we hit off the first time already lah. He called me, and then his agent said, "Oh, Mr. Bourdain is in town, and we're doing this show, blah 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 blah." And then Tony said he cannot leave Singapore without having you on the show.
Nice.
At that I was hot that time as well. I was filming every other day.
You're still hot, don't worry.
Those days, I mean, I was busy.
Yeah.
You know. And I was like, oh, Anthony Bourdain, yeah, sure. Could you, we've got a dinner slot for you tonight. Where would you like to? So I don't know. I'll call you back later. Whatever I feel like eating, I call you. So I hung up the phone. Then I asked my wife, who is Anthony Bourdain? He was a nobody then, but he overtook me like hell. But he did his homework. He knew who I was. So he personally asked me. So first time I met him, he was ahead of me. He was early, and he was scarring all this live seafood in tanks, fishes and shrimps and all that. Rundown coffee shop in Geylang. That place is particularly popular because of him. So we sat down and ate, and of course he was going on, and then when all the food came, he was gushing and wowing, and then the last dish came was a bihun, the signature crab bihun. So Tony sat down and ate. He took one bite, and then I put his chopstick down. I've been given the red carpet treatment, blah, 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 and this, and in a place like this, run down red light district with a plate of noodle like this, I don't mind. I'll really be happy. I have no qualms if the world ended right now.
He said that?
He said that, So I was eating, because it was damn nice. It was something I wanted to eat at night. Then he turned around, and he said, Seetoh, what do you think? Then I'm like, what bloody hell? You're surely yanked the mic to me. So I look at him and I said, Tony, my mother always said, when there's food on the table, you eat first. You don't talk so much because you don't know where your next meal is coming from. So taken aback. He turned that into a chapter into his next book.
Great.
It's the nasty bits.
Nice.
The last chapter is called Die Must Try.
Okay.
Because that place had a Die Must Try rating. It's so funny.
It's amazing, isn't it? Like you have all the restaurants in the world and in Singapore as well, all the restaurants, and you brought him to, like you said, a rundown place
I brought him to me. I brought him to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Why want to introduce something you like? You call me what?
Right.
So and then we hit off lah. He called me. We texted. He tells me things. I say, he's so funny. He's so funny, and he's direct. Direct. Then once even the station locals said, hey, can you do a show in Bourdain? I said, what's your budget? He showed me the budget. Bourdain said we chak kopi can already. We'll just have coffee next time. Come back.
Now let's go into some of your personal thoughts. And you already touched on some just now, right? And you touched on this just now. You were critical of the hawker succession scheme. That's what you were referring to before, right? Tell us what that is again and why. Why don't you agree with that?
So the hawker succession is where they go and they ask retiring old master hawkers who doesn't have a second generation or staff to take over to basically hand over their skills, their life skills, their recipe, their brand, their reputation, the way they work, modus
Yeah.
operandi, and their regular customers to a stranger
Right.
for a stipend.
Right.
And this one got me, and I said, it's all wrong on so many fronts. First, you pay the bugger a stipend, then you pay the intern to come and work. So I said, so-called hawkerpreneurs, what a stupid word. It is so easy to give up when you're entrepreneuring with somebody else's money and efforts. Try digging into your pocket, putting it on the table, and give it to somebody else, and take a gamble on this that you really want. Then your soul and your heart and spirit will be in on that job.
Yeah.
So, and also it's only to hawker centers.
Okay.
They don't do it with hawkers in coffee shops who have the same hawker licenses.
Right.
So I said, what happened to them? Where are the other agents? NEA naturally, of course, they run the hawker centers, so they support the hawker centers. But hey, the UNESCO thing is a countrywide thing. So I'm asking all the other agencies, why aren't you supporting your coffee shop, your food courts, your all that?
Yeah.
You get flatline silence from them.
So there's no answer. Right.
So yeah, of course, on my end, I do my bit to promote everybody. That's why I put this ebook out.
Yeah.
I put this ebook out because I want to reach out to everybody. Also, coffee shops, mom and pop, little hawker stalls, canteens, and hey, even our wet market fellas, they are hawkers. They are considered hawkers. Anybody promote them?
Right.
Kosong kopi kosong.
Kosong. This is what you said earlier on in the first part of the pod, and I just want to repeat this, right? You once said, I've never been normal, I never followed the rules, I always take the other fork in the road. Exactly what you said before. Has that found you in trouble, the way you do things? Like, you don't follow?
No. The only, I wouldn't say problem, the only gray area is like you don't know what is ahead.
Okay.
Which is both scary for people who are into life adventures, and exciting for you do not know what's going to happen. And that can be thrilling for some people like me.
Okay.
It's you wake up, wow, I can do this. I don't know what's going to happen. You're not going to just, plonk through your 44 hours, 45 hours a week and get a salary, So it's very exciting because I'm selling something so intangible.
Yeah.
Food culture.
Yes.
What do you do? So you just sit there and dream, and you realize that dreams, it can be done, and you go get it done. I tell you, you feel so good. Once you get your first or second, and by the time you get your third success from nothing, I tell you, your confidence level go up. You are a changed man.
This thrill from dreaming, and like you said, you're a dreamer, and there's no destination. Like you said before, it could be scary for some people. Right? And it's not for anybody.
Entrepreneurship and where I came from, entrepreneurship was called sole proprietor, or all these fancy words. It's not for everybody. God is very fair. Some of you all can have to walk the straight and narrow. Somebody zigzag one. Some people will take it on another tangent. Not everybody has the chops. Some people don't even know they have the chops, and they are stuck unhappily in a routine job.
Well said. Next quote, right? I love this. That plate of char kway teow is actually a portal into a world of education, culture, tourism, entrepreneurial opportunities, all in one plate.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
if that plate you can click onto that plate, then it will tell you, hey, there's business there. It tells you about the Teochew people. It tells you why Bourdain will come to Singapore, eat the thing, and says, how can something so ugly be so good? And then it spins tourism, it spins trade. I can go overseas and sell char kway teow with a story behind it. So it is a 360 portal into a world of culture, a world of business opportunities, even tourism and trade. People now are selling what? Char kway teow sauces. That black thing you pour over char kway teow, ting ting tang tang ting tang, and you get char kway teow.
I agree, totally agree with what you said. Ugly but absolutely delicious.
That was what happened when Bourdain came. And they asked, what shall we do, man? New York Times TV. So I said, I'll just get out of here. So I drove all the way to Bedok, out of the zone, which he loves, the only Ang Mo in that part of Bedok, right? At that time, Mr. Ng was still alive at the Hill Street Char Kway Teow. Mr. Ng doesn't really know who he is. He's Ang Mo, just really important Ang Mo. He trusts me. He cooked the usual plate. Pump gave him. Tony just ate one mouthful. And he stopped. He turned around to the camera. He explained a little bit about the flavor. He talked about the place, and he said, he looked at the queue, and he says, "How can something so ugly be so good?" I laugh until tears in my eyes. But it's true. But that's Tony.
Yeah. Your thoughts on young hawkers? How do we attract them?
It's not my job, it's not my job. There are people who are paid a lot to do that, but I'll tell you. Firstly, I did my bit in telling you it's UNESCO class already. I did my part, okay?
Yeah.
So you be a hawker, you're world's first UNESCO hawker. That's very exciting. Two, I think Singapore pragmatic. Sometimes they are unemotional, unsentimental, but they're very pragmatic. I'll tell you, $10,000 a month in your pocket, not shabby at all. And when you switch off the light, you really have nothing to do, except go back tomorrow, switch on the light and start boiling water. And then when you do well, you know what? I think down the road there'll be world opportunities. I'm getting a lot of requests from friends and peers who have worked with me on our World Street Food Congress, entrepreneurs, food court operators, all kinds of chefs and all. Hey, how can we collab? Folks from China, United States, Europe, even the Middle East. They are excited. So hang in there. Once I get more light on this, I'll make an announcement, because the thing is, after this recognition, we must export this food love to the world. Look what the French turned our kids into with their French fries. It's not even from France, it's from Belgium. Hello. And then, right now we want to barley reverse engineer and do to you with our chicken rice and nasi lemak.
What is hipster food, Seetoh?
I don't know. Even Bourdain. Hipster food is an attitude. It is.
So it's not the food then?
A guy who has a bandana, tattoo all over, he fries char kway teow. What is that? Is that hipster food? Is that a hipster?
But the food is char kway teow.
Yeah, you see. So, food is food lah.
Yeah.
Don't care what is hipster food. Hipster food is something that you find on Instagram. If it's not Instagram, it doesn't exist. Some people are like that one. So hipster, food is not. Food is good, no good, cheap and expensive. That's it. Like Bourdain said, coffee is coffee. Coffee is not a lifestyle.
You once said that, and I find it funny, right? This part here where we talk about places where they inject vibrancy, so-called vibrancy, into food places, like with music and whatever, right? And you said this, right? Focus on the food, and I'll give you $5 to shut up. With the loud music and all in the background. What?
I mean, it's going to distract me from your lousy food. Music, I'll go. If you want lousy music, I'll go to karaoke and sing. I'll turn on my MP3 or Spotify. But don't try too hard with your with your food. Like if I sat there, you told me a little bit more about this hawker. What? You mean Pasha is a guy in Maxwell?
Yeah.
Has a master degree from MIT and Johns Hopkins.
What does he sell?
Indian food.
Yeah.
With a Japanese accent.
Wow.
His mother Chinese, father Indian. Wow, very, very funny people. That guy is a quiet little guy. He has master degree in linguistics now. Came back, throw away the thing. Went to cook. Work in restaurants, kitchen help. He run a hawker store in Maxwell. He does this bento. Fantastic.
He still does this?
Yeah, he's there. He just opened there a few months. His stall is called Luck Meow. Pasha is about 30 years old, I think. Very quiet guy. The fella take one blade of vegetable. He sprinkle it with, he turn it into a tempura. And where does the Indian accent come from? The tempura batter has a little bit of masala in there. So it's like muruku. Muruku batter. He just dip and then he just swing the little piece of leaf in that oil. It's so nice. Who does that, man? And it's inexpensive. One set with like 5-6 items on the bento. $6. He has cheaper ones at $4-5. And he sits. His stall sits right across from another lady, just facing him in that same hawker center. She has a master's in some finance thing. Her last job reads compliance director.
Okay.
Hello, you don't apply for the job. You earn the chops to be that kind of position. And one finally she said, cukup lah, enough lah. I want to sell chichong fan. Because I can't get my mother's Ipoh style chichong fan.
Yeah.
Just sold that chichong fan club.
Yeah.
So you can not just have a diploma, you can have a master's. You can still be a hawker.
Seetoh, you're a legend, because before people listening in, before this you had reservations on, this is like a food guide, having a food guide, And the way you explain stuff just now, I will go to Maxwell to try that. It's amazing. It's brilliant. Thank you for that. The dish that best describes you.
Char kway teow.
Yeah?
Ugly. and beautiful because it looks easy, It's damn bloody difficult to do a char kway teow. I can cook a lot. I don't style myself as a chef, you understand? Well, this is the way you do that. But I've been, I can outdo a lot of hawkers in char hei mee. So in the time when I eat, I say you can't make better than me. Forget it, I can make them a lot of chicken, right? I need to cook the stuff that I enjoy eating, that I promote. Unless I can cook it, I must be able to cook it until I'm satisfied.
Nice.
So bak kut teh, now I can tell you bullshit, and but char kway teow, it took me the longest time.
Yeah.
I was learning it from Mr. Ng. I regret I didn't take up his offer to ask to come to my stall for a day. I will teach you. I may not be able to teach you because I don't know how to teach, but you can ask me anything you want. Right. There's the guy who cooked for Bourdain, of Hill Street. Yeah. So I said I didn't have time, so I just hung around. Then he told me this sauce is more than meets the eye. It's got 4 things inside. He told me what the 4 things was. I didn't calculate the portion. I didn't really physically do it for him. And then he tell me, my lard, I don't put a lot of lard. Now I put a little bit of lard on top, but the rest of the lard is blended into powder. One magical pring over the noodles. Where that flavor come from? It's all that magic. And that sauce, and the art of cooking char kway teow, ting ting. You see the way go ting ting tang tang ting ting tang tang. You can go forever until the sunset. Now, when do you stop? When do you drop that egg inside? When I took him for an event to New York, for Singapore Day event. Okay. I saw that my job was to make sure everybody gets equipment, and he was having problem telling this angmo how to do the stove, and then I say, Mr. Ng, 什么事? He said the stove, the fire must be off center, cannot be directly under.
Off center.
Off center. Then I also blushed. Wait a minute. Because when he fry, you see, he first shift to the side. The noodle is resting while I cook the egg after so you don't overcook as I drop the egg in. I said, wow, brilliant. You know how you shove and all that. So there's a when you can teach char kway teow, who teach you about fire? The medium, low, medium. What kind of fire? Jet fire, 6 flame, 3 flame. What kind? You know, can you do it with induction heat at all? Not captured in any culinary school. Those kind of tricks. So when I went back, I said, then some when they fry, hey, which one the kway teow going first or the noodle going first? You cannot both going together because to get the same texture and then the amount of liquid you put down there to steam and fry and braise at the same time, all the technique. And then when you drop, it's complex. In the end, it's just one ugly plate of char kway teow.
It's precision, isn't it?
One ugly plate of char kway teow which people will ask for at their deathbed now.
What's more amazing is you talk about precision and what have you, and that's one plate. Now to be able to do that consistently, 100 plates, 200 plates or whatever in a day.
Yep.
All the more amazing.
Yep. $3, $4 per plate, $300, 300 portions a day. Hello, go do the math lah. Then you see why he's able to afford a semi-D in Siglap area. No?
Yes or no? Is hawker food culture dying here?
It won't die lah. I mean, I think the government must do its utmost to keep the 114 hawker centers filled lah. It will evolve into what I don't know. But it's never going to be as exciting as what I have known it to be 20 over years ago. Unless real action is taken. You can't engineer people to come to this craft and carry on the baton from where the old hawkers left off. There has to be some kind of gumption. It's got to be more than passion. It's got to be determination to want to do this.
Quick fire questions, right? Very fast, and I'm sure you'll be great at this. Your favorite dish ever? Char kway teow?
No such thing.
No such thing. No favorite dish ever.
Favorite dish.
Right. Least favorite dish?
Dish are like beautiful girls. All of them you like, but you only have one now, unfortunately. But
Your least favorite food or dish? Sorry, do you have something that you don't like? Something that you don't like. You like everything. Yeah.
Never come across a dish that I hate.
Favorite?
I hate creative food.
You hate creative?
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah, chef coming in. Oh, my creative menu.
Okay.
Like I told Bourdain once. He was asking me about continuation. Who are we promoting? Oh, well, this new young hipster chef that come with creative stuff. Then I told him this. I said, Tony, creativity is not flavor. He stopped. Turned into one of his articles again.
Nice. Do you have a favorite fruit then?
No, I do. You give me a good Chinese pear.
Yeah.
Juicy Chinese pears.
Okay.
Crunchy, juicy, sweet, citrusy. Love it.
Best person to have a meal with?
Lee Kuan Yew.
You had the experience?
No.
Why? Why is he the best person?
The guy is a foodie.
Yeah?
A lot of my chefs cook for him. A lot of my chef friends cook for him privately. So I want to peek into his mind. But, and then he came from a foodie family. He's got a lot of people don't know, but his grandfather came from Indonesia, and then so I want to ask him, you like soul food so much, why aren't you doing more for the hawkers?
Okay.
I wonder what he would say if he knew that there was a UNESCO award today.
A best hawker center in your...
Superficial questions
Tough?
you ask me. Superficial, the best question. Which of your fingers? Which is your favorite finger? Don't spare me. Spare me all this.
Best country for hawker street food. Best country ever.
Singapore.
Singapore?
Singapore. But real street, on the street. It's Thailand.
Thailand?
Yeah.
Nice. Chicken or lamb?
Lamb.
Beef or pork?
Pork.
Max, Burger King or KFC? This is the one.
Huh? Max Burger? What's that?
Burger, Max, McDonald's, Burger King or KFC?
Nah, KFC.
KFC.
Yeah.
Because it's chicken.
It's just fried chicken.
Right. Makansutra, right? If you were to rate it based on your intentions in 1995, from where it started off, out of 10, what would you rate it now?
As a company,
As whatever your intention was to start off as a food guide, right?
maybe 5.
5.
A
Just pass.
A lot of things we want to do, we can't do.
Yeah?
Because don't have the people just don't have the mindset. Just, when people come to work for us, they very shallow. They think their qualification, the idea of qualifying for a job at Makansutra is, I love food. Then I must hire a monkey or hire you for what?
Your biggest achievement? What would you say?
Fighting for UNESCO and the World Street Food Congress.
Nice.
These two are meaningful things. We have empowered a lot of people, told a lot of stories, and the world is talking about it.
Right.
When we did our event in Philippines, Philippines got no street food. They were selling, cups, street junk. I don't know what kind of street food. But when we did the event on there, what the media, the years after we did that, youngsters in Philippines started opening up food trucks, opening up food halls and all that. So, and then CNN called them the most exciting street food destination in Asia.
Nice. Is there any disappointment? Something that you thought you could have done better?
Of course lah.
Biggest one, biggest disappointment.
Lot lah. Because don't know lah. Biggest disappointment is why didn't I do then what I felt I should be, what I know I want to be doing now, like the World Street Food Congress and empowering more and doing more, turning this story into more business opportunities where you can uplift the conditions of some of these, displays disadvantaged talented cook chefs.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Future plans?
Don't know.
No, you don't have a destination.
Oh,
Brilliant.
never destination. Age also coming up. I'm not some Yahoo anymore.
Before we leave, Seetoh, advice for any young hawkers or anyone wanting to get into the hawker business. Any advice? The right man.
If you think it's glamorous, you gotta get your head inspected. It is meaningful. It is respectful, but it's not glamorous. Especially in Singapore, one of the world's richest countries, where you open a little store, you sell a platter for $3. Even developing countries don't even sell their street food at $3. And then you know what? You pleasure people every day. It is a form of public service. You do not know that you are doing, and hey, you make damn good money along the way because you are dedicated to it. So I ask, what more do you want?
Absolutely brilliant, because like you just said it pays. It pays.
Of course.
It pays.
I gave you the numbers.
Exactly. Mr. Seetoh, KF Seetoh, the king of food, Seetoh, thank you so much for being on the SilverFox Hustle Podcast.
Thank you, Sashi.
It's,
Thank you for having me.
It has been a pleasure, and to listeners out there were many things to take away from this episode number 35 of the SilverFox Hustle Podcast, and that was KF Seetoh. It was brilliant speaking to him, and many of his experiences as well. Different quotes, many quotes, and I hope that has inspired you. Thank you for listening in. This has been episode number 35. If you haven't been following, please click on the follow, subscribe button on the various podcast platforms. And till the next time, the hustle beats talent when talent doesn't hustle. Cheers.